All right. Good afternoon, class, and welcome to today's discussion. So, we're going to be diving into the critical topic of acid-base disturbances or acid-base imbalances. Okay. So, katulad nga ng sinabi natin, it is a fundamental concept in medical surgical nursing. Okay? It is also a solid under and a solid understanding in the concept of acid-base and fluid and electrolyte imbalances is also a key to providing safe and effective nursing care to our patients, right? So the content for today's lecture, we have to thank Sir Mark Joseph Liwanag, okay, for providing me the um, updated version of our PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So we're looking at the concepts of acid-base balance. Okay, the balance in our bodies depends on the regulation of free hydrogen ions or your H plus. Okay, okay, it is also synonymous to an atom. Okay, kasi ang isang atom, isang positive ion or an atom is also your hydrogen atom. Okay, the concentration of this hydrogen ions, okay, is measured in pH. Okay, katulad nga ng sinabi natin, pH is your potential of hydrogen. Okay? Think of it as this way. Okay, so sabi natin arterial blood gases are the major diagnostic tool for evaluating acid-base balances. Okay? And we primarily use this tool to evaluate the patient's acid-base balance. Okay, so we have to think of it as um, an acidic solution has a higher concentration of hydrogen ions. Let's write that down. Okay, so acidic solution has higher concentration of hydrogen ions. Okay, a basic or an alkaline solution or an alkalinic solution both have hydrogen and hydroxide ions. However, mas marami po si hydroxide kaysa sa hydrogen pagdating natin sa acid-base balances. Okay? For acid naman, konti lang si hydroxide. Okay? So, ganyan ang balances natin. Supposedly, okay, dapat nasa gentle, tawag dito, nasa gentle medium ka ng acid-base balances mo. Sabi nga natin, di ba, our blood pH is between 7.35 to 7.45. Okay, sir, ano po ang unit of measurement ni pH? Walang unit of measurement si pH. Okay, tandaan nyo that pH is just a free number. Okay, but the most optimal of your blood pH would be 7.4. So again, anything that is more than 7.4 is considered alkalinic, and anything that is below 7.4 is considered acidic. Okay? Okay. Then we go to your ABGs or arterial blood gases. We have already discussed ABGs, right? But for the sake of discussion, um, may I remind you that ABGs are a crucial diagnostic tool. Lagi nating ginagamit si ABGs, okay? You will be able to analyze and interpret arterial blood gases when you're already in your practice as nurses. So they are a crucial diagnostic tool. So this shows the normal ranges for a typical ABG analysis. Okay? So, kailangan natin i-memorize yung mga values nito because they are the foundation of interpreting the result. So, siguro I'm proud to tell that you already have the knowledge and information, okay, of your pH, of your pressure of arterial carbon dioxide, and your bicarbonates. Right? So, your pH, the normal range is between 7.35 to 7.45. So less than that would be your acidosis, and the pH greater than 7.45 is your alkalosis. But sabi nga natin, the most optimum would be 7.40. Napaka-perfect naman ng blood mo kapag meron kang 7.4 as acidity or alkalinity or your pH. Okay? The partial pressure of your carbon dioxide, okay, your PaCO2, the normal range is between 35 to 45 millimeters of mercury. Okay, this value tells us about the respiratory component of the acid-base imbalances. Lagi nating tatandaan, pag PaCO2, lagi siyang connected sa respiratory system. Okay? And then your bicarbonate or your HCO3, the normal range would be between 22 to 26 milliequivalent per liter. Okay? So this value provides information about the metabolic component. Okay? Let us all remember that one. Okay? Nasaan ba tayo? Okay, also we have your oxygen saturation. Okay? Your oxygen saturation, 95 to 100% ang normal range niyan. We have to remember. Also, yung PaO2 or your partial arterial oxygenation, that is 80 to 100 millimeters mercury. Okay. Then we have your O2 content. Okay, what is the O2 content? Ito. The O2 content is around 15 to 23%. Okay? Per 100 ml of blood. So dapat meron kang 15 to 23% of oxygen per 100 milliliters of your blood. Okay? So let's go to your pH balance scale. Okay? So the pH balance scale presents a visual representation of the pH scale. So a pH, sabi nga natin, less than 35 is acidosis, which is caused by an accumulation of acids or a loss of bases. Okay? But a pH greater than 7.45 is alkalosis, which occurs when bases accumulate or acids are lost. Okay? So the scale varies from 0, which is very acidic. Ay, nawala ako. Sorry. The scale varies from 0, which is very acidic, okay, to 14, which is very basic. So we know that the neutral pH is 7, which is the pH of pure water. Okay? So battery acid, saan ba to? Okay. So battery acid has a pH of 0, so very acidic si battery acid. Okay? Stomach acid is 1. Okay? So lagi tayo may stomach acid is 1. Pure water is 7. Okay? And then blood, okay, ito, nasa gitna siya ng 8 because again, 7.45 to 7.35 to 7.45. So this is slightly higher than pure water, but it is still very close to being neutral. Okay, and then you also have your bleach and your drain cleaner, which are very basic or very alkalinic, and they are at the end of the scale. Okay. We go to your regulatory system. So when a patient's pH starts to deviate from normal values or normal ranges, our body has three primary systems that kick in to help regulate the pH of our blood. We have our chemical buffers, our respiratory system, and the kidney. So we're going to be discussing this one by one. So we have our chemical buffers. So chemical buffers are our body's first line of defense. Okay, before the respiratory compensation or the metabolic compensation starts to kick in, okay, nag-act muna po si chemical buffers because they are our first line of defense to neutralize or to normalize the blood pH levels. Okay, so they are immediate acting and they work by combining with an offending acid or base to neutralize its harmful effects until another system takes over. So, nagko-combine siya sa offending acid or sa offending base which could either increase or decrease the normal pH of your blood and try to neutralize its harmful effects until the respiratory system, represented by your lungs, or your renal system, represented by your kidneys, take over. Okay. We have your bicarb buffer, your bicarbonate buffer. Ay, ballpen. Okay. We have your bicarbonate buffer, which is primarily responsible for buffering blood and interstitial fluid. Your phosphate buffer, okay, which is effective in the renal tubules of your kidneys. Okay. And your protein buffers, including your hemoglobin, okay, are the most plentiful and they're also crucial for buffering. So we have your bicarbonate buffer, your phosphate buffers, and your protein buffer. So these are your chemical buffers, which are your first line of first line of defense. Okay, understood? Okay. So we go to the respiratory system. So the respiratory system, specifically your lungs, regulate blood levels of carbon dioxide. Okay? Carbon dioxide plus water equals carbonic acid or your H2CO3. Okay? If a patient has high carbon dioxide, okay, due to their breathing will slow down. Okay, this holds on to carbonic acid, which lowers the pH and making the blood more acidic. Okay? Kaya sabi natin, di ba, baliktad po si CO2. Kasi kapag mas mataas si CO2, okay, nagiging acidic ang iyong blood. Okay? If the patient naman has low carbon dioxide, their breathing will speed up or they will have what we call your hyperventilation. Okay? Hyperventilation blows off excrete carbonic acid which raises the pH kasi wala ka na magko-combine. Okay? Para mag-combine sa water mo. Okay? Which blows off carbonic acid which raises the blood pH making the blood more alkalinic. Okay, so the respiratory system is about twice as effective as your chemical buffers, but the effects are temporary. Okay, and then we go to your kidneys. So the kidneys are the body's long-term regulators of acid-base balance. Okay, they can reabsorb or excrete excess acids or bases into the urine and can also produce your bicarbonates. Okay, so kung kanina si respiratory respiratory compensatory mechanism natin is only temporary. Okay, when we allot the compensation of the kidneys, it is more permanent and is more long term. Okay, so if a patient is in acidosis, the kidneys will absorb sodium bicarbonate and excrete hydrogen ions. So a key relationship to remember is that bicarbonate levels and pH levels, bicarbonate levels and pH levels increase or decrease together. Kaya sabi natin kapag pH increase, okay, bicarbonate increase, therefore meron kang metabolic problem or metabolic imbalance. Okay? All right. If the pH is low or you have acidosis, okay, the kidneys will try to compensate by holding on to the bicarbonate. Hindi niya i-excrete ito. Okay, therefore increasing the pH and causing your compensation. Okay? All right. So when sabi nga natin, when you try to compensate or you interpret the ABGs as a five-step analysis, first is you check the pH and determine if the patient is in acidosis, alkalosis, or if normal. Okay. Then you look at the CO2 to assess the respiratory component. Okay. Sabi nga natin, opposite. Dapat opposite ang value niya sa iyong pH. Okay. Then number 3 is to watch the bicarbonate levels to assess the metabolic component. Okay, this is your same. Nawawala yung ballpen. Okay, this is for your same. And then number 4, look for compensation. Okay, so again, compensatory mechanisms, kapag hindi pa rin normal, okay, kapag abnormal po, either the CO2 or the bicarbonate, ibig sabihin, partially compensated. Okay, uncompensated kapag normal values at fully compensated kapag abnormal ito pero normal po si pH. Okay? You assess the pressure of arterial oxygen and the saturation of oxygen and evaluate oxygenation if it is normal. So that is your step 5. Okay? All right. So again, let's move on. Okay, you have to check the pH if it is acidosis or alkalosis. Okay? And then we determine if the CO2 gives info about the respiratory component of the acid-base balance. Okay, we need to see if the change in your carbon dioxide corresponds with the change in your pH. Okay, so high pH expects low PaCO2 or your hypocapnia. Okay, and your low pH expects high PaCO2 or your hypercapnia. Again, opposite sila. Kapag ang pH mo is mataas, your CO2 is low. Okay? Kapag mababa ang pH mo, your CO2 is high. Okay? Number 3, you check for your bicarbonate. Okay? So the bicarbonate level gives us information about the metabolic aspect of the acid-base imbalance. Okay? Similar to the carbon dioxide levels, we need to see if your change corresponds with your patient, with your pH. So if the pH, sabi natin dahil same to, if the pH is increased, therefore dapat may increase yung bicarbonate levels. Okay? If your pH is decreased, dapat meron kang decrease in your bicarbonate levels. Okay? Then you look for compensation, which is step 4. Okay? So compensation occurs when the body attempts to correct an acid-base imbalance. Okay? So that is what we call your compensation or compensatory mechanism. So compensation always occurs as opposites. For example, if a patient has metabolic acidosis, compensation, the body will try to compensate by causing respiratory alkalosis. Okay, by increasing breathing rates, okay, therefore blowing off excess carbon dioxide para hindi na siya mag-form ng bicarbonates by combining water and carbon dioxide. Okay? So lagi nating tatandaan 'yon. Okay, step 5, you have to determine what the PaO2 and the SaO2 are. So the final step is to look at the oxygenation, no? So your pressure of oxygen refers the ability of the lungs to pick up oxygen, and your saturation of less than 95% indicates inadequate oxygenation. Okay? A low PaO2 indicates hypoxemia or low levels of oxygen in your blood. Eh, lagi tayo nagkakamali, kaya lagi kong sinasabi to, iba po ang hypoxia, okay, sa hypoxemia. Okay, hypoxemia kapag nasa blood, ang low oxygen, hypoxia kapag nasa tissues mo or mababa ang perfusion mo. Okay? Okay, so we have your 4 main imbalances, your respiratory acidosis, your respiratory alkalosis, metabolic acidosis, and your metabolic alkalosis. So for your respiratory acidosis is caused by any compromise in breathing, which results from hypoventilation, okay, which leads to a buildup of carbon dioxide and a drop in your pH. So mataas po si CO2 and mababa si pH. This can be caused by neuromuscular trouble, a depression of your respiratory center in your brain, and then lung disease or airway obstruction. So who are the clients at risk for respiratory acidosis? So certain patients are at a higher risk for developing respiratory acidosis. So this includes your post-op abdominal surgery patients, okay, patients on mechanical ventilation, and patients who have received either analgesics or sedation or both. So these conditions always lead to hypoventilation. Okay? Kasi nag-a-allow sila ng carbon dioxide na mag-accumulate sa body nila. Therefore, increasing increasing the levels of carbon dioxide, causing acidosis. Okay? And then dahil respiratory problem or respiratory ang origin of the pH imbalance, it is a respiratory acidosis. So what are the manifestations? So the manifestations include apprehension and restlessness, okay, confusion or tremors, decreased deep tendon reflexes, okay, your diaphoresis or excessive sweating, dyspnea or tachycardia could progress to tachypnea or your fast heart rate, and also nausea and vomiting, and also your warm and flushed skin. Okay? So you might see these signs and symptoms when a patient has respiratory acidosis. Okay, so you just try to analyze ABG results. So let's apply for our five-step process to a respiratory acidosis ABG. No? So first is we determine if the pH is low, which is 7.35. If the PaCO2 is high and your HCO3 is normal, okay, therefore you have uncompensated respiratory acidosis. Okay? How about your compensated? If your pH is normal, tandaan natin na normal pH, PaCO2 is increased and HCO3 is increased. Pag pH normal, anong tinitignan natin dito? Kung saan pa rin siya nagfo-fall. Okay? Between 7.40. Okay, so dapat kapag sinabi nating respiratory acidosis, nasan siya? Nasa baba. Okay, so less than 7.40 dapat ang iyong pH. But it is still within the 7.35 to 7.45 normal range. Okay, so how do we manage respiratory acidosis? So the management of respiratory acidosis focuses on correcting the underlying causes of your acidosis. So this could involve administering bronchodilators if the cause is asthma. Okay, you provide also supplemental oxygen, okay, while monitoring for CO2 retention. Okay, we have to monitor CO2 retention while we are providing supplemental oxygen. Okay, you also have to treat hyperkalemia, which is a common manifestation of your acidosis. Okay, you have to give antibiotics for an infection. Okay, perform chest physiotherapy to remove secretions that causes your airway obstruction, thus causing respiratory acidosis, and also remove foreign body obstruction. So lagi nating tinatawag na obstruction would cause your respiratory acidosis. Therefore, we have to correct the underlying causes. Okay? We go to your respiratory alkalosis. Okay? So respiratory alkalosis most commonly results from hyperventilation. Okay, it might cause by this rapid breathing blows off too much carbon dioxide, leading to a low carbon dioxide level and a high pH. Okay. Common causes of this one includes your pain. Okay, so hyperventilation can cause your pain. Okay, salicylate poisoning or ASA, lagi nating sinasabi ito, yung mga acetyl salicylic acid or your aspirin. Okay, aspirin toxicity or aspirin poisoning. Okay, you also have nicotine, use of nicotine or aminophylline, which causes your toxicity, which causes in turn tachypnea, which blows off too much carbon dioxide. Okay, or your acute hypoxia. Okay, and it overstimulates the respiratory center to blow off carbon dioxide, okay, therefore causing respiratory alkalosis. Okay, we go to the manifestations of your respiratory alkalosis. Okay, you have your anxiety, restlessness, okay, diaphoresis, increased respiratory rate, your EKG changes, okay, your hyperreflexia and paresthesias, okay, mataas ang tendon reflexes mo. Kung kanina, depressed ang deep tendon reflexes, ngayon, overstimulated ang DTR. Okay, tachycardia and your tetany or your seizures because of overstimulation nga ng ating muscles. Right? So, you might see these manifestations for patients and in patients with respiratory alkalosis. So again, your ABG results for respiratory alkalosis are uncompensated. KPH is more than 7.45. Your carbon dioxide is less than 35 and your bicarbonate is normal. For compensated, ibig sabihin partially or not, your pH is normal pero dapat nasa alkalotic side pa rin siya. Your PaCO2 is less than 35 and your HCO3 is less than 22. So how do we manage respiratory alkalosis? Okay, so the management of respiratory alkalosis involves addressing again the underlying cause or the underlying disorder. If you're hypoxemia, ibig sabihin mababa ang oxygen saturation mo, or mababang oxygen levels mo, oxygen therapy would be the treatment of choice. Okay, so sabi nga natin, it is an independent nursing action, but you must also inform also your physician or your primary care provider. Okay, sedatives or anti-anxiety agents, which are used to calm the patient and slow their breathing because hyperventilation causes your alkalosis. Okay, for hyperventilation naman, uh, we give your paper bag breathing. Okay, for hyperventilation, which is a simple intervention. Okay, so we have the patient breathe into a paper bag or a brown bag, which helps them rebreathe or re-inhale carbon dioxide. Okay. Then we go to your metabolic acidosis. It is characterized by the gain of acid or a loss of your bicarbonate. Okay, so HCO3. Okay, it is associated um, with conditions that produce ketone bodies, such as your DM or diabetes mellitus, your alcoholism, or starvation. The other causes include lactic acidosis, okay, um, from conditions like your shock, heart failure, pulmonary diseases, or hepatic diseases, also your strenuous exercises. So clinical manifestations of your metabolic acidosis includes your confusion and dull headache, usually chronic to, not really chronic, parang constant yon. That's the term. A constant dull headache. Okay, decreased deep tendon reflexes and signs and symptoms of hyperkalemia, such as your abdominal cramps, your diarrhea, muscle weakness, and EKG changes. Okay, also your hypotension and Cosmos respiration. Sabi nga natin, in an attempt to preserve CO2. Okay? Kaya kami Cosmos respiration. Okay, as the body tries to compensate by blowing off CO2 and lethargy and warm and dry skin. Again, so ABG results for your metabolic acidosis, pH is less than 7.35, your oxygenation is normal or carbon dioxide is normal, and your bicarbonate is less than 22. Okay, for your compensated, if your pH is normal but your PaCO2 is less and your HCO3 is less than normal, it is compensated. Right. So management is focused again on correcting the underlying cause kapag meron tayong acidosis, okay? Or alkalosis, metabolic acidosis. Okay? You have your regular insulin to reverse DKA kasi it pushes in the bicarbs and potassium back into the cells. Okay? You have your IV bicarbonate to correct acidosis. Okay? Fluid replacement therapy, also dialysis for drug toxicity. Ano kasing drugs to? Your ASA or your aspirin toxicity. And your antidiarrheals to stop the loss of your bicarbonate if this is caused by your diarrhea or GI manifestations. Okay, then you go to your metabolic alkalosis. Okay, it is commonly associated with hypokalemia from long-term diuretic use as well as hypochloremia or decreased chlorine. Okay, or other common causes which would include your hypocalcemia. Okay, it is also caused by excessive vomiting. Kaya hypokalemia, di ba? Lagi nating tatandaan, board exam question. Excessive vomiting, always hypokalemia yan. Okay? Nasogastric suctioning or drugs containing baking soda. Okay? Kasi ang baking soda is your HCO3. Okay? That's like your baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. Yeah. NaHCO3 or your sodium bicarbonate. Okay? And it dissolves in water to form Na and your HCO3. Okay? Thus, increasing HCO3 levels causing alkalosis. Okay? Okay, so manifestations of metabolic alkalosis can include anorexia, okay, apathy, okay, or parang wala ka ng pakialam sa mundo kapag meron kang apathy, apathetic ka na, Okay, confusion also, cyanosis, hypotension, loss of reflexes, okay, and muscle twitching. So kabaliktaran to, di mo kanina, which is deep tendon reflexes. Okay, nausea and vomiting, also your paresthesia or tingling and numbness, polyuria, okay, which is excessive urination and weakness in your muscles. So those are what you can see in patients who are exhibiting and manifesting signs and symptoms of your metabolic alkalosis. So what are your ABG results? Okay? So kapag sinabi nating uncompensated, your pH is more than 7.45 kasi alkalosis nga. Okay? Your CO2 is normal, therefore walang nangyayari, walang ginagawa sa CO2 to compensate, and your HCO3 is more than 26, therefore it is metabolic. Okay, that's uncompensated. If it's uncompensated metabolic alkalosis, okay, your pH would be normal because it has already been compensated. Your PaCO2 is more than 45, okay, in attempt to correct the acid imbalance or base imbalance, and your HCO3 would be more than 26. Okay. So what are your management for metabolic alkalosis? Okay, so IV ammonium chloride. Okay, so it is IV ammonium chloride, also discontinuing thiazide diuretics like your hydrochlorothiazides. Okay, and you're discontinuing also your nasogastric suctioning kasi inaalis mo yung HCl content. Okay, at saka bicarb content. Okay, sa iyong tiyan. Therefore, causing alkalosis. Okay, also you have your antiemetics to prevent vomiting. Okay? Okay? All right, so that is the end of our ABG, not really ABG or acid-base imbalances discussion. So to summarize, we've covered the essential principles of acid-base imbalances. Okay, we have started with the foundational concepts of the potential of hydrogen or your pH and its measurement using your arterial blood gases or ABGs. So the normal range for the key ABG values would be your pH, again, 7.35 to 7.45. Your PaCO2, 35 to 45 millimeters mercury. And your HCO3, 22 to 26 milliequivalent per liter. Okay? So we also explored the three primary systems that regulate the pH. Okay? First would be your chemical buffers, which are our first line of defense. Okay, the respiratory system, which would be temporary in nature, and the kidneys, which would be more of a long-term solution to our acid-base imbalance. So, okay. Finally, we broke down the five-step process of how to interpret and analyze for ABG results and applied it to the four main acid-base imbalances. Okay, and the four main acid-base imbalances, which you are already familiar with, are your respiratory acidosis, your respiratory alkalosis, your metabolic acidosis, and your metabolic alkalosis. So we have to understand these imbalances because it would help us provide effective patient care because these imbalances, their causes, manifestations, kung ano ang nakikita natin sa pasyente, and also the management is crucial for us, nurses, okay, for us to be able to provide effective and efficient nursing care and patient care to our patients. Okay? So that concludes our discussion. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll end the recording now.